Boom! Hey CEOs, how you guys doing today? Check it out. It is actually 9:36, so I'm gonna dive right into this. I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and this segment in and of itself, it is by far one of the ones I truly wanted to talk about. Growing without necessarily having a niche. Pretty much from a creative entrepreneur and high level operator, just from my perspective, because guess what? I kind of fit into all three of those categories. When I talk to you guys about becoming a high level operator or becoming an entrepreneur on YouTube or being a creator on YouTube, you have got to understand what this truly is. Uh, just quick background about myself. You know, you guys already know that I am a full time government employee. It's a lot of craziness that's going on right now, but I definitely enjoy my job. Close to retirement. So, therefore, I have tapped into uh, YouTube and everything that it has to offer. And it has been put me in touch with some of the most amazing people. But as I start to grow, as I start studying analytics and doing the things that I'm doing, it's often kind of like a sticky, right now for me when it comes to a niche because I truly enjoy the things that I do as an administrative officer. I touch areas in finance, I touch areas in property, I touch areas in travel, I touch areas in, fleet inventory, you name it, human resources. So I started as what we call a support person when I started my career in that area. Then I moved over to being more of a program analyst. After that, I became an administrative officer. And I tied all this together and plus my military years into this nice little fit. But each time I had to bring my personality to the game. And so that's the fascinating thing. Even though I'm looking for a niche per se, or not necessarily looking for a niche, I like to think, like I say again, as I'm studying consulting, as me and my wife having our own business together, you know, these are some of the things that I truly enjoy doing. Also, day trading. That's another aspect. As you learn these things, it's not going to happen overnight. So, my niche is going to be very wide and very broad initially because I like talking about various subjects. I like talking about a lot of different interests from business to leadership, personal growth, even I talked about my book that I wrote. That is pretty much as far as I have multiple interests. That's basically what I'm trying to get down to, and that's the bottom line. But I don't like to feel bad. I don't feel really bad being on YouTube and sharing my story because I find it very fascinating. Going on 30 years within the scope of the federal government, both military and civilian. Also, understanding as I'm tapping into these other areas, you know, being that a business owner, learning consulting, also day trading, that's going to take that same amount of time, that 20, 30 years to do that. But then that's what I love about YouTube because then it provides me this opportunity to step out. I don't know. I just felt like being on a vacation today, y'all. I kept this Hawaiian shirt on. I the weather's either going up or it's going down. I know a lot of y'all still in the cold weather, but I'm bringing it. I want to be in nice warm weather, so I'm working this Hawaiian shirt, one of my favorite ones too. But that's the overarching thing. What is my core message? My core message, again, my mentor Robin Sharma would say, you know, number one thing is that what is your mindset telling you? What's your psychology? What are you trying to emphasize? With all the craziness that's going on in this world, we have to be able to have better awareness. We have to make better choices so we can get better results on what it is that we're doing. Those are the three key formulas for success. And as I zone in on that, that becomes one of my niches for my success. And also, again, like I tell you guys, the 5 a.m. Club. That book by Robin Sharma has been just amazing as far as I'm concerned for my life, and I think many others. Once you tap into that power, the 20-20-20 formula, it's lights out. You're able to just boom, do really amazing things. Getting up, throwing something on, sweat shorts, whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable, getting down, doing a quick 20-minute workout, followed up by 20 minutes of meditation, then followed up by 20 minutes of growth. That's in that golden hour, 5 a.m. when most people are still asleep. You put your body through it, then you can start moving throughout your day into some of those other areas. That's the key to growth, I believe, without having something of a niche, so to speak. You have a core message. That's my core message, and I think it brings amazing uh, things to people when they find that. Once they find their core message, they launch, boom, into it. And it just opens up so many doors for you to do things. When you think about authenticity, you know, how that wins. Again, when I speak about those micro wins, those small wins trump out big wins anytime because they add up a lot quicker than huge wins. It's similar to like the stock market. And all they tell you when people trying to go for that big one, most times they lose. But if you start out and you get consistent on your small wins in day trading, then all of a sudden those add up. Boom, 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 boom. You are off and running. People don't follow topics, they follow people. And that's what my heart is all about. My three foundations for CEO 369 Consulting, which is uh, honor, love, and respect. I just don't get down with people that don't really understand what that means because every person has to love them, honor themselves before they can honor others. They have to love themselves before they can love others. And they definitely have to respect themselves before they can respect others. And what that ends up doing, that builds this common thread that's not so easily broken. You know, what ties that content together? You know what I mean? What helps you do the things that you do on your YouTube channel? You know, for you, for me, myself, I told you it's those three. Without that, CEO 369 does consulting does not exist. It is just me spouting words. But those are the things that I live by. Those are the things that I appreciate because I enjoy having connection with other YouTubers that have that mindset, that heart set, that health set, and that soul set that just, you can just really get out into the world and stuff that's going on. A lot of people are worried about it. Man, I walk out in this world living and loving my life. That's the God honest truth. And sometimes, it may not be appreciated about others, but I have a purpose. I have a reason for doing what I'm doing. When I hit that button to record, it's for a purpose, it's a reason behind it, and it just helps to engage so many other people, so many other men and women. I think I was watching Sean Cannell, the one book that I showed you, YouTube Secrets, just the other day, and his number one thing was as you build your YouTube channel, you will begin to start connecting with other people. And as you connect with other people, you will grow as far as your subscribers. But don't get caught up in the numbers, he says. He says building a community is what you want. You want those people coming back to your channel. You want to go back to their channel. You want to help them grow. You want to see them succeed. They then begin to want to come to your channel. They begin to want to see you succeed. It's not necessarily about a niche, but it's about relationship. And that's the fascinating part about this is that we often, I don't know, I didn't know the word other way of saying it, we just get caught up in how many subscribers I got. Am I being monetized? It does allow for you to do that, but are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to be consistent? Are you willing to post short content? Are you willing to post long content? Are you willing to do um, the lives when you have the opportunity to do it? I mean, I'm working on mine. Don't your man trying to get there. I sometimes when I get on my weekends, I go into a flow state and I just like to pull back. I like to enjoy, take some time off. I didn't do live this week, but I plan on jumping back on that horse. And because it is, you just have to have the right setting. There was a lot of things that were going on, me and my wife, and stuff that we're doing for our business and trying to do with each other just to, as we, navigate this new year, and that's why I like to ask people, how is the month of February is starting off. It's, tomorrow it's going to be coming up on my third month for being on YouTube, with about 100 subscribers and about 100 videos. So I guess I gotta keep that ratio going. I'm gonna grow it one way or another, but I enjoy having to do that ability of doing that. You know, just your growth experience, how your platform evolves without feeling like you're boxed into a niche. So you have to come up with ideals or things that surround that. When I wrote my children's story for my son, it was primarily it was to get away from just those standard ways of doing things. I had to learn what it meant to write a children's story. Was it going to be a picture book? Was it going to be a chapter book? The different versions, and then what I kind of came out with was a picture book, and it was just a great feeling. That's what I say about YouTube. It affords us, not just me, but you, the opportunity to put yourself in front of it and whatever it is that you choose to do with it. But the best part about it is you get to build consistent branding. You get to build consistent messaging. So when you come across a person's YouTube channel, a lot of times I get most people just call me CEO. And then some people call me the CEO 369. I'm still waiting on somebody to call me 369 CEO 369 Consulting. I mean, I love them all. Don't get me wrong, but that's the name that I chose. To me, it's like getting a nickname. When you was a little kid. But I ain't gonna tell you what mine was because it's between me. It's for me. It's for me to share with those that are important. But if you guys really are here and understand what I'm saying, please do me a favor. Drop a comment, in that comment box. Do me a favor, like this video. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. I truly appreciate getting those. And sometimes I just let them marinate, because I really believe that although I may be giving something, I like to, not just to receive from other people, but I like to give that content that I get from other people, and develop it. It's like going into the lab for me a lot of times because I believe that having engaging storytelling is very crucial for what it is that we do. This is the part when you think about how YouTube is set up, it allows for a lot of different things. You can spend in certain areas if it's gaming that you love, if it's in areas of fashion or areas of makeup, if it's in areas of just sports, music. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And there are so many different YouTube content creators out here who do just quite well for themselves. And I just love seeing that because it inspires me to be able to be in that area, the being relatable. Relatability is far greater than having, just over rigid expertise. Some people just say that this is my niche. This is how I'm going to do things. I don't have a problem with that. Do it, develop it, grow, because out of that, you put in that time and you develop your content the way that you do, whether you have a niche or you don't have a niche at this point in time, and something just truly resonate, there are tremendous opportunities that are formed from having broad content, as well as I think without necessarily having a niche. You can get sponsorships based on your personality and not just industry. Again, me consulting, speaking, coaching. That's another form because people in today's society, that's what people tend are looking for. Not just advice, I should say, but suggestions, and allow them then to tinker with what it is that they're doing so that they can grow. And based on doing it, you begin to cross platform growth. You may do digital marketing like a book, podcast, or other collaborations that are out there. Wouldn't that be exciting to you? I mean, how would that be? Not necessarily that you may not be, that you're not looking for a niche, but until you find it, you may come up on something or working with someone else that just affords you tremendous opportunity. You know, Instead of you trying to figure out what do I do, how do oh wait a minute, I gotta be operating in this way. If it's something that you have and something that you like, dive right into it, make it yours. But also, the number one thing, like I always say, and this is what you hear me say when I talk about being a CEO, I am not necessarily talking about a chief executive officer. I'm talking about being that creator. I'm talking about being an entrepreneur. I'm also talking about being that high level operator. You know, when you're looking to find your niche, but in life, and not just on YouTube. I mean, because that's where I come from. If you think way back when you were just growing up, sometimes when you're sitting in classroom, teacher asks you what you wanted to be. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a firefighter. But there's so much out in this world. And then as you got a little older, you may want to play sports. You may want to practice medicine. You may want to be a lawyer, just depending on your community, your environment. Because as you got older, for me, once I started from elementary school into middle school and then into high school, I knew I wanted to be able to travel the world. I wanted to see things that not just in my neighborhood where I grew up at, because it wasn't all that. If you guys know about growing up in Los Angeles back in the day when crack cocaine epidemic hit, it wasn't all about Hollywood. I mean, you had whole families, whole people just strung out. You know, that stuff came through and hit Los Angeles like it was nobody business. And I lived in Baldwin Hills, supposed to be one of the, for African American more influential areas, but I live right in that spot, man. And when them crack houses start going up, boom, 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 people got swept up in it. And I was just, this in high school, I went to school out in the valley, but when I came home, yeah, I think that's why they made that movie The Walking Dead, because a lot of people was walking around there doing some wild stuff. And I graduated high school. I joined the military right after I graduated high school. And next thing I know, I was in Flat Plain, Oklahoma. But then that was learning my job. And then from there, I was over in Europe, better part of 4 years, learning what it is that I needed to do to get out of that area. And I'm gonna pause this real quick because my wife is making something. I'll be right back. All right, I resume. Sorry about that. I just didn't want the beeping to come in. I got a couple beeps. My wife making something, but just what I was saying. That time graduating from high school was crazy because between the gangs, between the drugs, between people going to jail, getting killed, I had to make a change. And as I grew up, got out of that environment, I had some tremendous opportunities by joining the military. You know, it afforded me to be doing the things that I'm doing now. I mean, My young adult years were, amazing. In the same token, end up having children and raising them, and now here I am, 57 years old. I have a story to tell, and I don't want that to be hindered by, again, being boxed in. It's just so amazing when you have the opportunity, as Robin Sharma would say, when you learn to own your morning, you'll also elevate your life. And that's one of the most interesting things that I've learned over these years. I'm able to start tracking by way of journaling. I'm starting to have opportunities where I sit and I meditate and I think about processes and how I want to do things when I go to work. When me and my wife sit down and go over finances, getting out of debt, that's very important for a lot of people. You don't want to be strapped as you get older. You want to have opportunities to travel, to go places, to do things, but you have to be able to um, properly handle your finances. Those are critical things. And then once you start beginning to establish morning routines for yourself and certain disciplines, and how it all connects back to your growth. Next thing you know, I mean, whoa, in about 4 days here, soon, I would have been having left the San Diego, California, me and my wife, and we'll be going on 3 years of being here in the state of Georgia. That's amazing. I mean, who would have thunk it? But we've traversed from the Pacific Northwest to California and now all the way across country to Georgia. That's time, that's investment in yourself. That is helping you. There's no niche to that. So to me, my YouTube journey is that similar. I'm looking forward to seeing what in the 2 to 3 years is going to be like. What's my first year going to be like? What's my second year going to be like? I get to go back and look at clips of or segments of videos that I put together to share with the world in order to say, hey, as a administrative officer, as a business owner, as a consultant, as a coach, as a person who desires to be someone who grows on YouTube, let's see what that full year looks like. But being able to track what I did in the month of January, then what I did in the month of February, how that growth comes about. That's what I say to you. What are you doing? Don't get so stuck in a niche. YouTube has provided you a platform to speak your mind, speak from your heart, speak from your soul. And I truly believe that each and every one of us would do that. So as I go ahead and close this out, 10 o'clock straight up on the dot, I got a few things I got to do before put my head down and get ready for the next day. I do want to tell you guys, always honor yourself. You will honor others. Love yourself. And therefore, you will be able to love others and respect yourself. Because with that, you will learn to respect others. And as my mentor, Robin Sharma, would say, if you own your morning, you will elevate your life. You guys have a great rest of your night, your day, or afternoon, wherever you're at around the world. I look forward to bringing another segment to you. We're going to have a great time with this. I also, like I say again, I just like to, I don't want to tell you to forget the niche, but just focus on you. You know, what's the one thing that connects everything that you do? If you would do me a solid, drop it in a comment. I'd love to hear from you, and I look forward. You guys have a good night. Bye.